Come closer. A bit more. That's it. To begin 50 years after the beginning, it is spring still moonless. Here in the sprawling, starless and slow black, crow-black town, statues still and silent as a Marx brother. See through the mills and factories, through the throb of the past, see through the vain rain, how good I look. Manchester, the second city, Cottonopolis, the south of the north. Go on, prick me, I'll bleed aggregate and cement, either that or red and light blue blood.
You're bloody gorgeous, pet.
Yeah, I know. Listen, time passes, has passed. See me now in me thousands, turning in me sleep like oxen on spits, off guard, anaesthetised in dreams. Listen. It is the hungover night moving in me hushed, fag-crushed streets, the nasal musical wind in the tobacco estates and polystyrene precincts. Dewfall, starfall, graceful and metaphoric, milk wood. Here wood, now wood. Only your eyes are unclosed to see the black and folded town in the visual silence, fast and slow asleep. Shh! The buggers are sleeping. The babies, the benefit boys, binger, biker, the bully-eyed, bottle-breathed beggar in the storing doorways, the footballers, fanatics, PA, postie and publican, pensioner, professional, the semi-erect husbands, mutton-dressed as lad, and the dependable wives. Young girls lie bedded and tanned, salon savvies, tits full of pollen, Primark pretty, gliding in their static, electric dreams of marriage down the British Isles wood. Fat men, dreaming wet wicked of pulling thin women, only in their in-your dreams, mate Jolly Roger in sea. And the anthracite statue of a graffitoed Tommy, wide-eyed and sleep-starved in his faded poppy-pale park, guards the town on the lookout for scousers. And the dangerous dogs in the muzzled yards, and the sly cats catnapping still on the slanty Coronation Street roofs, dreaming of slow mice, slow black mice. Hear the hushed town breathing round the newfangled media-filled dock, where the Christmas bonus, the tax wall, another toy, and the credit crunch my arse tilt and ride. Listen, it is night, stalking through the flat-vowelled wood past net-curtained municipality and council flatulence. In the dog-tired bedrooms, the reconsidered KFC, the discarded under-the-bed underpant, the grateful gossamer and the insomniac, up all night, red-eyed digital alarm clocks, counting the stretched hours till dawn so as not to miss a second of the new day. This brand new, first-hand new, unplanned new day, still to happen here in the unknown of Right Here Wood. Quiet as a domino. From where you are, only you can see behind their eyes. Blind Captain Cat, blinded by greed, captain of industry, fat cat, banker, asleep, vaulted in pillows, dreams of
seas of warm cash, swamping the decks of my excess, bellying up over the bedclothes and trying to suck me down debt deep into the Davy Jones, Dow Jones depths, where the long drowned nuzzle up to me.
Uber gracious, he exudes a treacly good humour and is a complete lie. He spreads his smile around like napalm.
Remember me, Captain?
Portfolio Peter.
Took your advice.
Good lad.
Trusted you.
Just sign here, Pete.
Lost the lot.
And here.
Drowned in debt.
And me, Captain. We shared the same dream once. Her name was Miss Opportunity.
Rosie Opportunity. Come on up, lads. I'm risk-free.
Went with the clever money,
Well, that was silly.
like you said.
Even worse.
Holding the mortgage,
Don't blame me.
pawned the children,
Blame the recession.
bent the furniture,
The euro, then. Blame Greece.
sank without trace,
Just sign here, mateys.
plunged into penury.
We're all in the same boat, shipmates.
Drowned in debt.
No, it's me who is indebted to all of you.
Oh, they'll probably give you a night or
Services to money,
the Fred Goodwin of Alderley Edge.
Well, they're not having this one back.
How is it above, Captain?
is there still boom and bust?
Still Richard and Judy?
Smoking in public,
Tell me someone's killed Simon Cowell. Captain,
Yes, mate.
who brings BMWs and Booper to my Gwen now? Does she still smell sweet, Captain?
bittersweet,
Bitter, anyway.
like a pint.
It's like a tear. When she smiles, does she think of me?
It must be nice to have money to lose again.
Just sign here, mateys.
From where you are, you can hear in a green spring night Miss Mira Pavati, supervisor at W.H. Smith's in Market Street, dreams of
Her lover.
Mr. Martindale,
bold as a red top,
Rude as a top shelf.
shoulders like broadsheets.
Manager of my heart. And the curry's opposite.
Miss Pavati,
Mr. Martindale.
Note, quite older than Mira, but still boyish looking. A cuddly toy of a man, we like him straight away, would readily mother him, darn his socks, gladly.
I am an electrical retailer in love. I love you more than Nokia, more than all the Belkins and Intel Pentiums of all the world. Let me take you away to my non-PC world of happiness. I will warm the sheets like an electric toaster.
I will deliver my love to you first thing every morning like a paperboy. My heart will light up your days like a pack of cigs.
I will press all your buttons like a smartphone.
And one day, all the bells of the tills of the town shall ring out.
Slow black, crow black, bald as a teapot, sly as a pencil case, punctual as a domino. Up the dark, up the drifting Bible black streets, dead to the world, toes curled up client-like. Davidson of Davidson, deceased and son of Didsbury, funeral directors, buries himself grave deep in blankets. Not gone, just sleeping, dreams of...
Loss. Profit and loss. Suddenly, accidentally, after battling a long illness, quietly in sleep. Dignified farewells without fuss or pressure. Favourite hymns and moving tributes. Penitent and po-face, the funeral facade. They like a good show round here. The smell of the embalming fluid, the sobs of the crowd. Sympathetic nod, 2, 3, 4, nod, 2, 3, 4. Bowed head, 6, 7, 8. Bow, 6, 7, 8. The choreography of death. And the fabulous gold mine of grief. Plus, satisfied customers that never answer back. Note to self, never look happy, bad for business. Death. It's a living. Showtime!
And in a little pink-eyed, past the landing, top of the stairs, fella's attic flat in Eccles lies Lily Bryce, 33 and never not been kissed, a Red Bull under the pillow dripping in the dark, dreams of...
Childhood.
That Lily Bryce.
Ah, a lovely girl.
a little treasure.
Credit to her mother.
She'll break boys' hearts when she grows up, that one.
What's she doing going behind those bike sheds?
Getting away from things.
To swat?
Must be exam time.
She'll get on that one.
Never out of those sheds.
Always swatting, that girl.
There's your Waldo.
Off behind the bike shed too?
He wants to swat and all then.
With Lily.
Helping him with his studies, I'll bet.
He needs the cramming.
Give us a kiss, Lily.
Cost ya?
I've got a penny.
She thrusts out her chest, undeveloped nipples in the firing position.
Do you want to feel me plims?
Yeah. Ow!
Tits is 10p.
Question 5. Burlesque. Christina Aguilera. Question 33. Klaatu Barada Nikto.
In his upstairs room at the top of his pub, buzzing
Question 14. Bagpuss.
In his upstairs room at the top of his pub, buzzing with sleep, landlord Noel Gallagher, the cleverest man in Manchester, bloated with a portfolio of obscure knowledge after too many pub quizzes, sighs before the trivial dawn and gives the answers only he knows the questions to.
Question 32. The Pequod.
And darkening under the chapel skies, Father Brignall, turning grey inside, turns in his faithless sleep and dreams of...
Richard Starkey.
And dreams of...
Jesus, and how easy the bastard had it. He wants to try round here, see how he gets on. Talk about being crucified. I'm not being funny, Lord, but you only died once. Not slain on a daily basis by the apathy of parishioners who would rather shop than sin. Too many sales, Lord. It's Mammon Northwest round here, mate. How can I hope to save their souls when they've saved so much themselves, having all flocked off to the twin cathedrals down the Arndale and the Trafford Centre? Deliver your people from the jaws of interest-free credit, Lord. Smite typical 0% APR. A few new commandments wouldn't hurt either. Thou shalt not hurry whilst stocks last. It's not rocket science. You are the Lord thy God, which has brought us out of the house of Fraser.
Asleep, he assumes the martyred position of Christ on the cross like a sacrificial capital T. He turns against the bitter dawn, faced with the prospect of having to compete with Manchester's socio-economic spending power and an uncaring God who no longer gives a monkey's.
Are you listening, Lord? Speak, Lord. Lord.
Now, in her iceberg white, slow white, snow white, laundered crinoline nightgown under virtuous polar sheets, in her dust-defying bedroom in trig and trim Cheshire House proud housewife Mrs. Pritchard Ogmore, a human hospital corner and widowed twice, checks the 2 wedding rings on her finger and counts husband-faced sheep, thanking them both for leaving her.
Much better off than when they were alive.
As she climbs ever higher up the social property ladder with every passing, slow black, crow-black widow spider in her germ-free, debt-free, ensuite world, prim and primped and polished to death, she drove both husbands to their own untimely ones as...
Maddened by the voice of the vacuum cleaner and the fume of Mr. Sheen, both willingly swallowed disinfectant to escape me. Bless.
She fidgets in her rinsed sleep, wakes in dream and nudges in the ribs dead Mr. Pritchard and dead Mr. Ogmore, ghostly on either side.
Mr. Pritchard? Mr. Ogmore.
Sorry, Mrs. Pritchard.
Right away, Mrs. Ogmore.
Soon it will be time to get up. Tell me your tasks in order.
I must put my pyjamas in the drawer marked pyjamas.
I must use no more than 3 sheets of paper during ablutions.
In the bathroom provided.
I must buff the oranges and polish the guttering.
And search the Shih Tzu for ticks and toddlers.
I may smoke 1 cigarette.
In the ashtray provided.
I must not sit down and risk annoying the settee.
I must not swear and embarrass the carpet.
Or get hungry and irritate the kitchen.
I must remember to agree wholeheartedly with the Daily Mail.
Especially about the house prices.
I must never vote Labour.
Like I haven't. Every day for 47 years.
I must put all sexual thoughts completely away.
In the bathroom provided.
I must not look out the window, lest I wear out the glass.
Or breathe all over your clean air in the dining room.
And before you let the sun in, mind it wipes its shoes.
BBC Dave, dragged screaming and shouting up the M6 to relocate in a new Eden media metropolis, dreams of...
Leaving it as quickly as possible.
He shovels imaginary earth, building straight tunnels out from his temporary accommodation back down south.
Away from the rain and the friendliness and the trophy winning and the rain. Back to civilisation and rude people. Back to surly shop assistant silence and no eye contact. Where passers-by blank you the way God intended and you're only 20 yards away from an iconic landmark and a recognisable accent. A white van driver actually waved me through the other day with a fetching smile. That's not right.
And in his tinsel-infested, ghost of Christmas past storage council lockup, deflated and crumpled, giant Santa sighs and dreams of...
Giant Mrs. Santas with an arse the size of Stockport and tits like zeppelins! Ooh.
Time passes. Listen, as the dawn centimetres up, where once it inched. Stand on this hill, this metaphoric Clarigub hill as old as the hills, and from this small circle of land fringed by hills you can see all the town below you in the drowsy first light. A Pennine for its thoughts?
Manchester. 2.6 million souls inhabit its quaint, self-loving streets. And we're walking.
I am you all, the blue and the red, those who are living and those who are dead. I let you sleep in me night and live in me day. You look just like me, I'm in your DNA. I give you everything I have to give. Without me around, you'd have nowhere to live. I am all of you, the blue and the red, those who are living and those who are dead. Previously on Manchester.
Manchester was the site of the world's first railway station.
And the first railway.
They split the first atom here.
Blame me, sorry.
The first computer was developed here.
As the largest M&S in the world.
And the largest university in the UK.
We invented microfilm.
The country's first library.
We had the first scheduled airline.
We were the first nuclear-free clear city.
There you go.
Rolls met Royce right here at the Midland.
The first Top of the Pops was recorded here.
I am the most visited city in Britain.
Next to Edinburgh.
And London.
I am Emmeline Pankhurst, I am Anthony Burgess, I am Davy Jones, I am Ian McShane and Ian Curtis, all the Ians. I am Judy Finnegan, I am John Cooper Clarke, Les Dawson, the Gallagher twins. I am Alf Morris and Fred Perry, John Thor, Tony Wilson, Steve Coogan, Carolyn Ahern. I am Sir Humphrey Cheetham, merchant benefactor of Cheetham's Library. Born in Crumpsall, giant of a man. I am all these and millions more, and one day I will be Danny Welbeck. A clock bleeps softly, sending alarm bells to the night that its time is nearly up. Listen. One by one the sleepers are wrung out into the digital daytime with their cruel get your ass out of bed buzz. Listen.
As Father Brignall pads doggedly and dog-collaredly in preacher's black.
Slow black, crow black.
Down determined stairs, opens the front door, and looking defiantly out at the day.
Imposes unwanted sermons on apathetic streets about to rise and raise its blinds.
A low sun creeps up the morn on a snoring Eldorado, from Lowry Quay to Heaton Moor, rattling every window. They stir with godless groans and grunts, dragging back each eider down, as a million alarms go off at once, deafening the town. But Lord, you've lost the plot with Manchester. It's clear you cannot see the wickedness of credit with a lifetime guarantee. And as light arrives, a darkness falls upon my furrowed brow. Ignored and without purpose, you give 2 fingers to my vows. You're not listening, Lord, and never have. That seems to be your trouble. Once the rock to build your church upon, I'm now a pile of bloody rubble.
Listen, the town is flushed with early energy. Somewhere in Droylsden a kettle comes to a successful boil and the whole city smells of Gillette and sugar puffs. Next to Wake, Lily Bryce swaps dreaming of herself all night.
For the real thing.
Looking at herself all day in the mirror.
By heck, there's a face. Where did you get that tan from, Lil? Got it from the paint chart. Give it back then, love. Look at that complexion. Now there's orange. Skin. That's me. All over. Where did you get those breasts from, Lily? Got them from the clinic. Dozy Ollie's put them on upside down. Where'd you get those dimples, dear? Look like the craters up on Mars. It's what's called nodularity. Cellulite my arse. Where'd you get that hairdo, Lil? Rinsed and permed and set. A woman does me every Friday. You bloody gorgeous pet.
Where's my bloody head?
Mr. and Mrs. Cherry Kelly and Cheery Cheadle, both chipped around the edges, prop up the morning with a rerun of Mr. Cherry Kelly's previous night's terrible tomfoolery.
See that bloody big dent on my good wall?
I do.
That's where you took the penalty last night when you finally made it home. Missed your Margaret Thatcher dartboard by an inch again.
Cherry Kelly is the only one in Manchester who still misses Margaret Thatcher.
In you reeled, knee walking drunk, with a big wet grin and a kebab supper. Said you were Sir Alex Kelly and I was your Mrs. Giggsy. Then you did your lap of honour round my crinoline ladies and danced on my new teak-style coffee table from Pound World. And it was arse over Tuesday and the floor all madness and pink matter.
Alcohol. I love it. It's in me blood.
I just wish it would stay there and not over my good floor. Then you took your trolleys off over your head. I really don't know how you do that.
Well, we'll always find a way.
And sang, come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. And it were out like a light emitting unspeakable odours all night.
As smelly as a domino.
Anyway, next time you decide to take another penalty,
Yeah?
use a bloody football.
I'm sorry.
Not to me, Mr. Darcy.
I apologise, Mr. Darcy. I love you, Mrs. Cherry Kelly.
I love you too, you daft beggar.
Someone held the door open for me yesterday as I was coming out of Debenhams. What's all that about?
Among the concrete greenery of Piccadilly, beyond the white, Snow White department store strewn square, sale assistants click-clack to work, whiskery buskers tune their tin ears, and rush hour minutes clack-click by. 8:30, and the roads are filling up.
I am the M60. Come out, Manchester, with your arms up. I've got you surrounded.
On his way to his office, Captain Cat in W.H. Smith, profane with profit, makes his first killing of the day. Buying his FT, he slips a New Zealand cent in amongst the slummy, passing it on to a none the wiser Mira.
As long as you come out ahead, that's the main thing.
Funeral director Davidson of Davidson, deceased and son of Didsbury, keeps himself cheery as he waits in the queue to be served.
My top 10 diseases are 1. All cardiovascular diseases, and then 2. Diabetes, 3. Emphysema, 4. Stroke, 5. The big C, glorious big C. Then plague 6, 7. Creutzfeldt-Jakob, best of all, chronic lack of breath.
Clutching the local paper, he rifles past the Living News and Ever the Optimist, checks the obituary columns for potential clients.
2 suddenlies, peacefully in their sleep. 4 after long illness. Death, it's all a living to me.
Miss Pavati, I am your prestige pressure cooker, coming up to an erotic boiling roll. Regular 9, ready to explode.
Up for hours, Mira, having dispatched Manchester on its way to work laden with news, is overjoyed with her own news of...
Vomiting!
Head down the toilet.
Puking with love.
OK, let's see how that weather's doing. Well, it's going to be a belter with temperatures in the high 70s and a pleasant southwesterly breeze from the continent. So dry and bright all day. You may want to dig out that brolly.
Delivery lorries hiss up the back of Market Street full of sell-by dates, and Manchester watches all the morning of the town as the shops begin to ding open. This time, they mean business.
Look at you glamour puss. I hardly recognised you.
Well, I had a wash this morning.
Love affair with itself, Narcissus of the North, Manchester puts on its mirror face.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, make my bum look extra small.
Pretend you bought them in the sales, a strategy that never fails.
Squeeze it in and suck it up. Please don't let the zip get stuck.
Got to spend every penny until we drop it if necessary.
Far too small and way too tight. It'll fit me later. Well, it might.
We can't resist a spending spree, because with a card, it's always free.
6 tops, 13 scarves, repaired nails and a Greg's thick slice later.
I think we may have overdone it on the loaf, ladies.
Slow black, crow black, jolly as a jigsaw, fresh as an arse slap, naughty as a domino, the town relaxes. We love you, Manchester. Oh, yes, we do. We love you, Manchester, and we'll be true. When you're not near us, we're red stroke blue. Oh, Manchester, we love...
You bloody gorgeous pet.
Yeah, I know.
So, you reckon it's all right up here then, do you?
Look, It's BBC Dave talking to Lily Bryce.
Beg your pardon?
You know, good. To live. Up here then.
Does Daniel Radcliffe own a wand?
It's not up here, it's here.
And what's all this slow black, crow black under Manc Wood bollocks I keep hearing? You want to try under St John's Wood, under Cricklewood or Boreham Wood, Ronnie Wood, a proper wood, as bald as a domino. Does everyone speak like that up here? It's called poetry.
Yeah, poetry.
Manchester has a lot going for it.
A lot.
Well, it's got a lot of weather, I'll give you that. Is this the rainy season?
It's always sunny in Manchester.
What? That wet sun?
Our disposition.
The people.
Our values. Our outlook.
Our famous northern humour. Go on, Mira, tell him a joke.
What would Bobby Charlton be if he had hair? 7 years old.
Very paraprostokian.
Manchester has everything.
Everything.
Living in Manchester is like having sex with someone you really, really fancy. Not that I'd know, of course.
That's enough, Mr. Pritchard.
Delusion. It really works.
Look, you're here now at the BBC. You should make a programme about us, to show people what it's like.
Name as many films the BBC should make about Manchester in 30 seconds.
The Mancunian candidate.
Manhattan.
Macbeth.
The man who shot Liberty Valance.
It's a Manc world.
Moss Side Story.
The Within Shawshank Redemption. Everything you've always wanted to know about Levenshulme, but we're too afraid to ask.
Come closer. Look, another Manchester.
The other side of the mirror. The bit with its back against the wall.
Manchester's B-side.
The bit you don't see in the brochures.
B for bullets, B for bugger all, B for Badchester.
And we're walking.
B for guns, B for needles.
Young town, young streets. Young coppers on young beats. Young girls shagging young rams. Young mothers pushing young prams.
Pills, boss. Weed. Some blow, mate. I've tested MDMA crystals, lemon widow, medicinal grade A mind-blown marijuana, Premier League coke, and smack coming out me arse. Class A, Class B, a whole alphabet of abuses.
Twitchy Manchester in guilty threadbare streets. Underworld wood. Some poor bloke's car rusts in a peeling road. And we're walking.
Listen.
Life here is dole, is single parent, is no prospects. Piss poor world, shit world.
Come closer.
Young days, young nights, young drinking, young fights.
Slow black, crow black, distrustful as a lamppost, dubious as a policeman, dangerous as a domino.
Young spikes in young veins, young dope numbing young pains.
Listen.
Young violence, young crime, young jails doing young time.
Time, I think, for a riot.
Take exactly what you want, never have to buy it. Getting off's a piece of cake, bally up and just deny it. Nicking stuff you'll never need, mandolins and garden seed. Flog it later down the club, piss it after down the pub. Snickers by the armful, a lifetime's worth of cheroot. Bargains by the trolleyful, a smorgasbord of loot. Trainers, TVs, bags of stuff. It's a free country, can't get enough.
Twitter, little star. Bring your bat, your iron bar. Bring a weapon, anything that suits. It's all kicking off, so bring your boots.
There's never been a sale like this. We'll have everything they want to sell us. Part of the big society. You should help yourself, they tell us. Help yourselves to everything. We recommend you try it. Manchester's a free-for-all. Manchester's a riot.
They say living round here is like reading a dirty magazine. The more you do it, the harder you get. Want to know what it feels like to be shot? I can show you. I got a gun. Tap. You're dead. A little bump. You're dead. That's the thing. You don't feel the shot that kills you or hear it. You have to be alive to hear it. Only the lucky ones hear the gun. That's right. Only the lucky ones hear a gun. Feeling lucky?
Young guns take aim and blast. Young flags at half-mast. And we're walking.
In his lunchtime pub, no old Gallagher enthralls a captive clientele shackled to the prospect of having to endure a tsunami of trivia as they wait for their pints to be pulled. He sells the cheapest beer in town. It's always happy hour in his pub, has to be. No one would come in otherwise, but cheap beer comes at a terrible price.
Here's one for you. The letter is O, the subject, authors. Name 5 for me.
In his eagerness to serve up tidbits of data with their drinks, our learned landlord serves only to bore the tits off them. He's both well-informed and well-known as the most boring human being in Manchester.
Here's one for you. 10 men who have died of a drug overdose.
I know the 11th will be if that pint doesn't appear soon.
In his Bastille business boardroom, brushed metal and bird walnut compete with each other as captain of industry Cat purrs and scratches out his lithe, leonine living over a working lunch of
greens. A daily menu of deliciously deferred debt and insider dealing. Drenched in oil palms, in a briny bribe-induced jus. He tucks avariciously into half-baked profit-projecting pie charts. Just sign here.
Fat cat, Captain Cat.
And here, mateys.
Fatter cat, Captain Cat. Davidson of Davidson, deceased and son of Didsbury, gets dressed for an approaching burial later this afternoon. He sports the chic mortuary look.
I'm putting on my top hat, putting on my long face, polishing my whales. Kick 2, 3, 4, the bucket 2, 3, 4. It's showtime. Let's mix where Rockefellers walk on sticks, put coffin dwellers in their ditch, getting very rich. Young or old, as long as it's out cold, it doesn't matter which, getting very rich. My job is to send them to the hereafter, trying not to burst out into laughter. I shall get a BAFTA. If you're dead or on your dying bed, memorials without a hitch, getting very rich. Faces set in Richter's grins, but it is me who always wins. Kick 'em if they don't twitch. They'll make me very rich. They'll make me very rich.
Aye, there's Mrs. Pritchard Ogmore peering into estate agents' windows.
Scanning the golden addresses.
Looking for husbands.
I've found all my husbands here. Matches made in Bramall and Hale.
But mainly in heaven. Her eyes are drawn to a parcel of prime real estate that is Alderley Edge with its
footballer potential wealth and high-rise earnings. Home of 6-figure salaries and generously appointed bank accounts. Many with their original fortunes still intact. Imagine not only seeing how the other half live, but being the other half of the other half. Just think. The newlywed Mrs. Pritchard Ogmore. A Cheshire penthouse wife.
Look, it's Father Brignall, inky in his unpopular parish pulpit.
Rendering mute words on behalf of Davidson, deceased and son of Didsbury's latest satisfied customer, Mrs. Rebecca Howard.
Mindful of his fashionable irrelevance, he modifies his eulogy to trouble God in his deaf heaven to see if he is listening, or anyone else for that matter.
Let us give thanks for the life of Rebecca, beloved wife of Thomas and loving mother to Gordon and Ross, who, as a fine bit of skirt, brought solace and pleasure to the lonely and not too fussy.
He looks heavenward, checking for a reaction. Not a sausage.
Comforted as they were by her easy virtue and generosity of bosom, she will be missed by her family here today and by her fans and admirers down the docks later this evening.
Meanwhile, at the back of the church, Davidson of Davidson, deceased and son of Didsbury, weeping like a funeral, offers his condolences.
To the past of satanic mills and smudged skies, thick with chronic air and wonderful breathlessness. Queasy times stunted with neglect, when pickings were good and the late came early. Of back-to-backs and polio and whooping cough. breeding grounds for pollution and profit.
Amen.
BBC Dave, homesick for congestion charges and a proper river, roams the peckish Salford streets in search of somewhere to eat.
Hey mate, is there anywhere decent to eat round here?
There's a little Italian round the corner that's very reasonable.
Yeah. Is there anywhere unreasonable?
Mira Pavati examines herself in a fattening mirror amongst the shelves of yellowing news, holding her belly close to herself, clutching confirmed news of her own.
Yes, this day. This blue day. Positive blue. Blue for a baby. Blue for a boy. His boy. And just think, when he knows, not a blue day, a better colour, a white day, white for a bride, white for a wife. I'll be Mrs. Martindale. Me, his wife, Mrs. Martindale.
Yes, dear?
What's that, love?
Did you call me? Just then, you shouted, Mrs. Martindale.
I never said a word.
Strange. I thought I'd heard someone call my name. Oh, look, now you've waken up the baby.
One day, not this day, Mira will know the awful truth, and with feelings too deep for tears, flooded with pain, die of a broken heart.
It's all a living to me.
Slow black, crow black, daft as a dartboard, mad as a magpie, dotty as a domino. Spy Manchester's breadwinners bringing home the bacon in a tumult of ring road traffic and mixed metaphors.
Breadwinners. Never understood that. Have you, Mr. Cherry Kelly?
I have not.
Winning bread. It's like, oh my God, we've won the lottery, love. We've won 4 million slices of Warburton's farmhouse.
Listen.
Well, we're going to have a beautiful round off to the day, continuing right through to the evening. Perfect if you're planning a barbie. Better keep that brolly handy.
The town is dusk, the night's first darkening. Manchester is the capital of dusk. Mrs. Pritchard Ogmore, slow black, crow black widow, tired of chasing the sunlight with a fly whisk, dons twin satin pearls, dressing fancy for a first date with newly found third husband-elect, and daydreams of
premature widowhood and a better postcode.
Tonight she plans to ensnare her unsuspecting pre-spouse as she rehearses her sticky designs with acid love in her voice.
Oh, for heaven's sake, call me Dorothy.
Davidson of Davidson, deceased and son of Didsbury, the undertaker overtaken with melancholia after a day of breathing lily-choked air, draws smiles with his wife's lipstick on the faces of the dead people he will lay to rest tomorrow.
Just to see a happy face.
They smile back at him,
humorlessly,
bringing a slow solace to his unique, grief-stricken line of work, saying nothing. Maybe one day he'll go and borrow a How to Learn Ventriloquism from Sir Humphrey Chetham's library so they can speak to him as well.
Just to hear a happy voice.
In cheery Cheadle, the Cherry Kellys anticipate tonight's terrible agenda.
On the wagon tonight, my dear. Last night, that's forgotten. File it under lesson learnt. Quiet night in, shouting at the telly.
Oh, really?
Fair enough. A quick 2 pints and call it a day. Then home by
silly o'clock, as usual. God has come home, you'll cry. Then it's arse over Friday and the floor all Cronenberg and kebabbery.
to chunder volcanically over Mr. Darcy.
Meow.
I love you, Mrs. Cherry Kelly.
I love you too, you big lummox.
2 and 3, 34. Kelly's Eye, blind 50.
Aye, aye, Father Brignall's getting weird.
Key of the door, number 26.
Hear him helping out on a bingo night at the church hall, God bothering again.
2 fat ladies, clickety-duck.
Trying to get the Lord's attention by deliberately provoking a full house of the elderly and hard of hearing as he messes dangerously with their heads.
Unlucky for some, 19.
Trying his patience.
Number of the beast, 666.
He looks heavenward for a reaction. Not a sausage. Amongst the blizzard of cosmetics, tonight's goddesses arrange themselves before the city.
Reconstructed.
Moussed and moisturised.
And reupholstered.
A coven of pheromones.
Miracles of mascara.
Spread trowel thick over black.
Slow black, crow black eyes. A blend of modern science and Manchester hosiery.
Bunny rabbits died to make us look this good.
Because
we're worth it. Then it's round to my place. Past the landing, top of the stairs, fellas.
Gash in the attic.
Where it all kicks off.
They tip-tap off into the clubbing dark, leaving us trailing in their perfumed wake. Slow black, crow black night, horny as an oven mitt, coy as an omelette, drunk as a domino. Noel Gallagher up to his eyes in regulars, desperate to slash their ankles.
There's one for you. There's one for you.
But tonight we see his fortunes about to change. Crossword buff and trivia queen, Miss Noel Edmonds, an almanac of information herself, bursting with knowledge, but tonight just bursting, rushes in for a call of nature and will this night hit it off big time. And our taxing publican will finally get to ask the question he has always longed to ask.
There's one for you. Will you marry me?
And she will, like she always does, give the correct answer.
Yes, Noel. Yes, I will.
Manchester out and about after work.
Party town.
On the lash.
Grinning like a domino.
Chatting itself up.
Fancying itself rotten.
Gagging for it.
Hungry for gossamer.
And discarded underpants.
Growing grabbingly gorgeous.
Pills, boss. Weed. Some blow, mate. Class A, Class B, a whole alphabet of abuses.
Look, hokey-cokey working the valuable streets, melting into the foreground, twitchy with expectation.
They say cocaine gives you a false sense of insecurity.
Lily Bryce, is that you?
Gibsy, is that you?
No, it's me, Waldo.
Waldo, love, you alright?
Wow, you look great.
Well, I had a wash this morning.
She thrusts out an overdeveloped, underwired chest.
Wanna feel me plins?
Yeah. Ow!
Tits is a tenner.
And in a romantic candlelit corner of alderly edge, Mrs. Pritchard Ogmore, slow black, crow black widow, spies her chance for upward mobility.
Oh, for heaven's sake, call me Dorothy.
Oh, Dorothy. What quirk of fate brought you to me?
Fat cat, Captain Cat.
Bless. I've got you a present.
A present? For me? A pen?
I chose the wrapping paper especially.
And a marriage licence?
Just sign here.
A thin darkness descends as a breeze from the canal scythes the tired light, fading with lengthening seconds under this wide day. This
blue day. Blue for a boy.
This prophet
and lost day.
A day I died 77 times and gave birth to 84 wrinkly new Mancunians. This one day
that stirred the town spirit.
For one day.
This one town.
Comfortable in its mirror.
And in its excesses.
Especially in its excesses.
Manchester enjoys being Manchester.
A lot.
Making the most of its day.
Knowing that at any time it might get struck by lightning.
And in these pressed, distressed,
rarely blessed, rushed and pushed times,
Manchester will always shine.
Even when it's pissing down.
And we'll always take time out to stop and smell the coffee.
Carpe diem.
Seize the Kenko.
The Manchester motto.
Yes, we'll have that. Seize the coffee like we did this day.
This happy ever after day.
Bless.
This one Manchester day, the now known that we held in the palm of our hands and now must let it go.
Good, wasn't it?
So good, I think we'll have another one tomorrow.
You bloody gorgeous pet.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, I've been here 4 months, yeah? Not met a single Chelsea supporter. I may stay.
Slow black, crow black, friendly as a street market, as brash as a poker and noisy as a domino. I am you all, the blue and the red, those who are living and those who are dead. Listen.